welcome to another hour. Another hour.
Your hair's great lately, babe. I don't know who you're trying to impress.
Are you happy with the look of it?
Of course, my darling, it looks amazing.
Good, because that light was £2,000.
Babe, it better not have been £2,000. My money, your money, that cost me £2,000.
1950 or something like that.
Shut up.
It is.
You would never buy a light for £2,000.
I'm about to buy another one.
If you get a light for £2,000, what do I
This
get?
is your light, you goddamn witch.
What am I gaining from this? Can I have, like...
What are you gaining? Are you up
What am
your
I
arse?
getting from a new light?
Look around you, babes. You're living your dream on my wallet. We need to go. Mum's
Yeah,
gonna
seriously,
go.
I've only got an hour 20. F off. Love you, babes. Have fun at the tip. Boys. Why do boys love going to the tip? Get a fucking life. Aren't boys funny? Welcome to the Nappy Hour, guys, the place where you tell me all about your fucked up lives and I tell everyone, just like real friends. So open your ears and let me fill them full of shit. Advice. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a professional of any degree, all right? I don't have qualifications. But you know what I am qualified to do? Chat shit. So that's exactly what we're doing here today, guys, all right? Don't take anything I say seriously. We're just chatting shit. Hey, I had a weird thought the other day. I just imagined my son, who's now 3, with a beard and like older. Do you know what I mean? Like it must be so jarring to have older, like adult children. Because, you know, they'll try and act hard with you. They'll have a go at you. You'll be like pissed off with you all. Like, even talking about something serious that they're going through. And it must, how can you take them seriously? Because you just think, I remember when you were running around this house naked with your little wiener bouncing around. Or, you know, I remember that stage where you went through where you just wanted to be a baby brachiosaurus. Don't try and act hard with me, okay, sweet cheeks. And it's so weird because in a few years, like he's going to have stinky armpits and he's going to have spots and he's going to have a girlfriend or boyfriend. And he's going to be, you know, stinky and sweaty and hairy. He's going to have beard hairs and he's going to have pubes. What the fuck? To think of my baby, my little baby mushroom with pubes. Sorry, that is just too strange. You know, and their armpits smell and his voice is all deep. He's going to be like, Mom. You know, we're living up north. He's going to have an northern accent. Mom, we have mash and gravy for tea. We were like, I remember your first meal. Oh, you ate little slices of bananas. Oh, I remember when you was a baby. I'll be northern by then as well. Oh, I remember when you was a baby. I guess like every stage of parenting though, you know, it happens so slowly and so you don't really notice it, I'm hoping. Like, I swear to God, I gave birth 3 months ago. Like, when did he start running around and having opinions? Like, when did that happen? Tell you what, it's a good old trick they play, isn't it? It's a good trick your body plays. They make you forget. You really do forget how hard pregnancy is. And thank God they play that trick, because otherwise we wouldn't have babies again, would we? If our bodies didn't play that trick on us where they made us forget how intense labour was and how long and relentless pregnancy was, there's no way we would be double dipping for round 2. Ooh, round 2, yes please, absolutely no fucking way. You know, you forget. I'm trying to forget. I've got fucking pregnant girls coming out my bloody ears, mate. Everyone in my life is pregnant. And annoyingly, I've got girls in my life that are pregnant in every single trimester. So, you know, like my friends in the first trimester are just like spotty and fat, full of farts, and they're just depressed. Like they are just hating their life. The second trimester girls, to be fair, are having a nice time. They're enjoying their life a little bit more. But then the third trimester girls, oh my God, they're moaning. Oh, they're in pain. They got jowls for days. Their back hurts. They can't sleep. Like, it just looks shit. And I'm over here thinking, you know, I want to get pregnant soon. And I'm thinking, do I? Do I want to get pregnant soon? I don't know anymore, guys. You're not giving me the hard sell. I've forgotten. I tell you, I've forgotten. I fell for the trick hard the first time. You know, you see all these pregnant girls feeling like goddesses, and I just thought, oh, I'm going to be a pregnant goddess. And, you know, I just imagine myself like floating along, like, oh, big bump. To be fair, I was floating, but tell you what, I wasn't floating on anything cute. I was floating on a cloud of progesterone-fueled farts. I tell you what, the sweet spot is like 6 to 7 months. Because at that stage, it's like, you know, your bump is bumping. Everyone knows, no one's questioning whether you're pregnant or not. We all know your bump is bumping, you're looking cute. Your fingers aren't too fat that you can still wear rings. And, you know, everything fits nicely still. Like, you don't have to, you're not like stuck for outfits, you know, but by 9 months, nothing fits. You're just draping blankets around you. It's the only thing that fucking fits. I'm wearing a toga, okay? It's Greek night. Every night is fucking Greek night. And then there's the bump insecurity. Like, I didn't know this existed. Did anyone else feel insecure about the shape of their bump or like where it sat on their body? I did not know this was a thing. I just assumed that I would look like all those girls on Instagram that have like a low hanging bump, but I carried like a fucking barrel, if I'm honest, guys. I have the kind of body type, and I think this is what determines it. It's your body shape anyway. So if you have one of those cinched in waists with the wider hips, you're going to have the lower hanging bump. If, like me, you are like more athletic or you've got like a square shape build, you're going to carry like a barrel. You know, my body shape was really funny when I was heavily pregnant because my hips are quite small, and because my bump was high, my bump actually came out wider than my hips. So I had these two little stick legs. And when I say stick legs, I mean my legs were chafing and massive. So they weren't sticks, so they were logs. My legs were logs. So two chafing logs, and then up from the hips, it just went boof, boof. Into this fucking barrel. I look like Mr. Happy, okay? That's how I looked when I was pregnant. You know, part of me, when I got pregnant, I was so glad, like, oh my goodness, I'm so glad I don't need to worry about, you know, like body anxiety. Like, you know, I can just allow my body to get bigger. But then I didn't imagine anxiety or pressures actually, like aesthetic pressures that pregnant women have on them. Hey, I was looking at my podcast stats the other day and it said that I have 8% male listeners, which, to be honest, is more than I thought I would, because I'm pretty sure the only man that listens to me is my husband. But maybe it's just him listening on different devices, trying to get my stats up, you know? But I want to get more men on board with this podcast. But I realize I have nothing to draw them in, because they hear the nappy and they're like, oh, that's women shit. I don't need to know that, or that's mum shit. Fair enough. So I figured we could like try and lure them in with like clickbaity snippets online. Once they're here, I know they'll enjoy themselves, but it's getting them here. It's like, now I've moved up north, all my friends are fussy eaters. And so I'm trying to get them around for dinner, and I'm like, it's a prawn curry. You know, they come around, they're a bit apprehensive. They're like, oh, I don't really like fish. I don't like curry. Is it going to be spicy? But then they have it and they have a nice time. You know, but I feel like my podcast will be like that for boys. You know, they don't know they need it in their lives. They don't think they want to be here. But once they're here, actually, they're going to have a nice time. How do you get boys interested? Listen. I know how to work a man. They think with their willies. So I figured we could use that against them and pull them in by their willies. So this is like a science experiment that we're doing, all right, guys? Going to see if we can increase our male listeners here. So I'm going to think of like sexy hooks to get them interested. So I figured the first hook could be something like, I'm about to dish my biggest secrets all men wish they knew about getting into a girl's pants. These tips are game-changing, but I feel like no men know them. And I swear, if more men knew these tips, then there'd be a lot more men getting laid. So one of my biggest tips to get into a girl's pants is this. And then it will just cut into like a bleep. And then all the boys listening will be like, no, fuck, she got us. Suckers. You know what the easiest way to actually get in my pants is? Flash that cash, daddy. Okay, pappy. Come and spend a little bit of flashy catchy over here, pappy. When Zach sends me money to go and do something or buy something, I'm literally like, papi, ay, Dios mío. Oh, another hook could be something like, one of the best one night stands I ever had was with this guy, and it was years ago. But he did this thing and it blew my mind. Basically, he grabbed and then it would just cut again like a bloop. And then the boys watching would be like, I gotta go check this episode out because I gotta know what blew her mind. And then I fucking got you, suckers. I fucking got you. But anyway, guys, while I have their attention, we're gonna get straight into it because I know these boys, okay, they get easily distracted. So while we've got their attention, we need to go. You guys have set in your dilemmas. Let's get into it, shall we? This Mumfriend says, I have this mate from work that I've been friends with for nearly 2 years now. We are part of a wider group with a mixture of men and women plus their partners. She's told me that her husband has a crush on me and has recently told her that he fantasises about me. If Zach came home and told me that he is having wet dreams over a girl in our group, I swear next time I'm sending him out with a blindfold. This already makes me feel very awkward. I am not surprised. I cannot believe that any man would be so audacious. But now she has asked if I can stop wearing makeup and wear baggy clothes around him as she's feeling insecure and just wants to do damage prevention. Damage prevention is locking your man up, hun. Okay, don't try and cover me up, baby. This saucy piece of ass. We went out for dinner at a restaurant with a few of us, 7 of us in total, and she texted me when I got home saying that she was pissed off at me for looking hot after she asked me not to. She's my mate and I want to do the right thing, but I also don't want to go around looking like the bag lady. Of course not. Of course not. Everyone wants to look hot, okay? You can't help it that you're a little hottie patotty. I've written out several responses ranging from an apology to being quite rude, but wanted to sense check my thoughts with you and the Mumfriends before I got back to her. I don't want to make life difficult for her or me, but I think what she's asking for feels unreasonable. I don't want to blow the friendship group up and make this awkward at work. I really do not know what to do here. Listen, honey, it ain't my fault I'm a hot piece of ass, okay? It ain't my fault. Shoot me. Oh, is being a hottie patotty illegal? Lock me up in jail, baby. Listen, you either got it or you don't. And turns out I got it. It's not my fault. It ain't my fault. Your partner wants to get all up in my labia. I don't blame him. Look at it. I actually could not imagine wanting to make my friends look less hot. I could not imagine being that insecure that I want my friends to look uglier. I love the fact that my friends are hotter than me. You know why? Because you are the 5 people that you hang around with. If I'm hanging around a group of hotties, guess what that makes me? It makes me a hottie, all right? It brings up the average attraction of everyone, including me. If I'm hanging around a hottie, people are going to think I'm a hottie. Why would you want your mates to be less hot? You're only as hot as your weakest link, okay? If you're like a group of mid people, but you got one minger dragging you down, you're only as hot as that person, all right? You got to get some hotties. Throw them in the bowl. I want to talk about her partner. What was going on in his brain? In what world are you from? In what dimension have you been catapulted from? In what fairyland have you been transported from that saying to your girl that you are literally wanking over someone else that she knows is an okay thing to say? Like, was he on drugs? He must have been on drugs. He must have been high out of his mind. Did he have his wisdom tooth taken out? And, you know, she picked him up from the dentist. He's all spaced out. She loads him into the car and he turns to her and says, babe, listen, I've been thinking about Jenny and I really want to fuck her. That is the only plausible explanation for him to be able to turn around and say this. Okay, baby. Okay, darling, back to dreamland, night. Let him sleep off the morphine, and then we'll have this conversation again. Like, what is going on in this man's head? I want to crawl inside his tiny little brain and just clap his brain cells together and see what is going on here. There must be like a malfunction in his wiring. I would honestly remove yourself from the situation. Sorry, but this like insecurity and weirdness with them too, I think it's probably going to start bleeding into other parts of the relationship. And I think it's really tricky when you're close friends with an insecure person. When you are deeply insecure and you actually want your friend, you're so insecure that you want your friend to stop making herself look pretty. That's borderline controlling, but also this person you know, they're not going to be happy for you when you achieve something good. They're not going to share your joy. They're going to be comparing you and them all the time. I just don't know if this is the kind of friendship that we want to be like, you know, surrounding ourselves with. I would just block his Instagram. I would block his number. And yeah, just let me know when you're feeling better in yourself and we can maybe continue this friendship down the line. But right now, like, I think you're a fucking weirdo. Anyway, moving on. This Mumfriends says, my family doesn't celebrate Christmas. My husband's family does. We've been together for 7 years and apart from 2 years, spent every Christmas with my in-laws who live overseas. 1.5 hours on the plane, but it ends up being a whole day's traveling as we need to get trains. And once we land, it's another 50-minute car journey. Husband and I have our first baby who will be 5 months at Christmas. Congratulations. So wait, how old are they now? So Christmas is December, obviously. So we've got 1 month, November. Oh, so it's like 3 months. Enjoy it. Sleep when the baby sleeps. Jokes. I was looking forward to creating our own traditions. And to say I'm hesitant to travel with a baby during RSV season. What is RSV season? Hey, Google, what is RSV?
According to Wikipedia, respiratory syncytial virus, also called human respiratory syncytial virus and human orthopneumovirus, is a contagious virus that causes infections of the respiratory tract.
Jeez.
It is a negative sense, single-stranded RNA virus.
Hey, Google.
Its name is derived from the last...
Hey, Google. Stop. That's enough. Thank you. Doing a whole fucking biology lesson. Right. So it's...
playing right now.
You're so annoying. It's not only the flight, but also the train rides and big family gatherings that will be crowded. Yeah. My husband has really laid on the guilt. Oh, God. Baby, come on, darling. Oh, I'm just gonna miss my mummy's cooking so much. And we always sit on mummy and daddy's bed to open our presents. You're a 40-year-old man. Come on, grow up. He's asked why I wanted to separate him from his family. That is the only tradition they have, etc., etc. He thinks Christmas alone with me and the baby will be miserable, which is honestly so insulting. Excuse you. Mate, do you not like my company? You know you're married to me, right? You know you're married to me. I am meant to be your number one, your soulmate, your best friend, and you think spending Christmas with your best friend, your soulmate, will be miserable. You know, you're bringing half the vibes, bro. If you can contribute to this Christmas, what would you like to do? Let's build a fun Christmas together. For the record, I am the only one in our relationship making an effort to decorate the house each year. I love cooking. I bake cookies every year before Christmas. At my in-laws, the food is subpar. They don't bake and they don't like cooking. Plus, we don't eat meat. They don't even like cooking. The food is shit. It's not even like, oh no, trust me. My mum's roast is the best. You've got to try our Christmas dinner. And each year, my husband and I basically cook our own Christmas dinner at their house. We do play board games at theirs, but otherwise they just sit and watch TV. Oh, what a lovely tradition that is. Sitting on your ass and not moving. To be fair, I could get on board with that. It's not my idea of Christmas, and I want to start fun traditions now that I have a child of my own. This is very strange behaviour. Like, why did you marry me if you didn't want to start a family with me and start traditions? Like, if you want to go marry your fucking parents, go marry your fucking parents. That is my issue with Christmas. You know, everyone feels the need to like, be with the family. We must be with family. You know, most of us don't even like our families that much, but we cram ourselves. The whole family's coming around, brothers, cousins, sisters, uncles, aunties. Everyone's coming around for 3 days straight with nothing to do apart from drinking and farting, you know, and there's money stress with Christmas. Uncle Roger's fucking drunk again and he's upset Auntie Linda. Auntie Linda's crying in the kitchen. Oh, he never listens to me. He didn't buy me that thing that I asked him to buy me. You know, the baby's choking on the Legos that you bought for the older children, and then someone's taken a turd in the toilets and blocked all the pipes. Now the whole house just smells like shit. Like, it's just madness. It's madness. What I find funny is how everyone talks about their mum's roast potatoes. Isn't everyone's mum's roast potatoes just like the best potato? Oh, you've got to try my mum's roast potatoes. You try them and they're just bland. Zach actually tried to convince me. He didn't try and convince me, he just said it. But really offended me. He told me that his mum's roast potatoes were the best potatoes he's ever tried. And I actually nearly choked because I know for a fact my roast potatoes are otherworldly. They are competition winning roast potatoes. So don't even try and tell me that your mum's potatoes are better than my potatoes. I am absolutely with you. It's one of the best things about having children, isn't it? That you are suddenly exempt from any family traditions because you're making your own family traditions. And how lovely is that? I swear it's like the only reason most of us have children is that it gets us out of spending Christmas with our families. Oh, I'm just going to have a quiet one this year. Just going to have a quiet Christmas. Just me and the kids. Just us and the kids, I think. Yeah, just us and the kids at home. Any visitors? Nah, just a really quiet Christmas. I am excited for a quiet Christmas this year. I am excited. I'll just see where the day takes us, you know? See where it takes us, but tell you where it won't take us. Off my sofa and over to my in-laws. Listen, my darling sweet husband, I know it must be really hard to come to terms with the fact that you are in fact a full-grown adult man with a wife and a child. And I know the urge that you're getting right now to run over to mummy and daddy, you know, spend Christmas with them, wake up in your childhood bedroom, in your single bed, your same duvet cover that you had when you were 12, and you rush into mummy and daddy's bedroom. Mummy, it's Christmas, Santa's been. And open your presents on their bed like you always did when you were a child. I know. But guess what, sweet cheeks? All right, you're a 40-year-old man with a wife and a child and your own house. And this year, Santa's not sending your presents to your mummy and daddy's house. They're going to send them to this house because guess what? We have a fucking child. Get a grip.
Next one.
Hey Miranda, I am loving the pod all the way from Durham. Where the hell is Durham? All I know about Durham is that you guys have a university that I was not smart enough to get into. I need your 2 cents on a recent argument me and my husband had. I brought my husband home a chocolate croissant. I told him, I got you a chocolate croissant. When he looked in the bag, he said, I thought you said this was a chocolate croissant. This is not a chocolate croissant. I told him that's what the bakery and many people call chocolate croissants, and he could Google to confirm. He said, a croissant is a specific shape. This is not a croissant. I Googled chocolate croissant and showed him that what he had in front of him was in fact considered a croissant. He then became very angry, yelling and accusing me of always having to be right. You're not the one that's having to be right. You are right. He's angry that he can't be right. So in fact, he is the one that has to be right. And he's just so pissed off. What? Why? I want to know how it got to this point. I brought you home a yummy baked treat and you are attacking me. He said that his criticism was about the croissant and not me. And the fact that I had to prove him wrong was a deep failing in me and that I'm just like my father. I told him in no way did I take anything personally, and I didn't want to prove him wrong, just share information about what is considered a croissant, as he was so firmly against the information I told him. This ended in him yelling more, storming off and closing the door. Drama queen! I know having someone say, well, actually, must be annoying sometimes. I could have just ignored him and let him believe whatever he wants. Who really cares? No. Sorry, we cannot have anyone going around believing false information about chocolate croissants. This man needs to know. Who really cares what he believes a croissant is? But I am someone who likes facts and sharing opinions, and I am happy to be wrong and learn something new. Am I wrong to assume his response would be, oh, cool, I didn't know that, instead of lashing out and accusing me of needing to be right? What's this really about, honey? Come on, come sit on mummy's lap. What's it really about? It ain't about the croissant, is it? Let's be real. You know, how did it get to this point, sweetie? I was in a bakery. I was in the queue. I was just picking up a little oat flat white, and I saw this croissant, and I thought, oh, whoa, my husband loves baked goods. Let me get that for him. He really deserves a little treat this morning. It'll pick me up, you know? And so I bought that chocolate croissant. I paid for it. It's still warm. I walked out the bakery, I got in the car, I put that croissant on the chair next to me, and I drove home all excited, thinking, oh, he is just going to love this. He's going to love it. Then I get home to give you this yummy baked good, and you attack me attack me by accusing me of being just like my father. I will have you know, my father never bought me a chocolate croissant. I think what I personally would have done would be to take the croissant back out of his hands, and I would eat the whole thing in front of him and just be like, oh yeah, so sorry, honey, you're right. Next time I'll get you a real croissant, not a fake one. And just lick my fingers. All the crumbs just scattered around him. Oh, what a yummy fake croissant. I think this is like some weird analogy for something else, isn't it? Let's dive deep into what this is really about, Jerry, all right? I wonder, like, have you cheated on him in the past and he's got like this weird resentment towards you? Or like, does he have abandonment issues? Like what deep mother wound does this man have that a woman can come back with a yummy baked chocolate treat for the man that she loves and it turns into a slagging match? Like if I went round to my friend's house and they were like, oh, like come round for pancakes. Then I got there and, you know, the pancakes that they decided to cook were the thin crepes. You know what I wouldn't do? You know, I wouldn't say, you seem to be mistaken, for you said to me earlier that I was coming around for pancakes. And, you know, actually I've got here and that seems to not to be a pancake, but in fact, a crepe. I wouldn't do that, would I? Because I'm not a psychopath, weirdo bitch. He knew what you meant. And also, chocolate croissant is a difficult one because sometimes I want to say pain au chocolat. Okay, when no one's listening, I'll say pain au chocolat. But sometimes I don't want to say pain au chocolat. Okay, why is it always pain au chocolat? Chocolate croissant just sounds less wanky, doesn't it? Let's be real. Pain au chocolat, you just sound like a bit of a dickhead. It's like paella. Like, I know it's paella, but if I'm making it for my friends, I'm not going to say paella. I'm going to say paella, chorizo. Okay, I know it's chorizo. Okay? But I'm not going to say chorizo to my British friends. I'm going to say chorizo, because that's what we say over here. If I was in Spain, maybe I'd say chorizo. But I'm in Britain and I say the British term. Oh, I sound like someone from Reform then. Oh, we had Reform come and knock on our door the other day. We had Reform come and knock on our door. They tried to give me leaflets and I was like, oh no. And they were like, do you vote? And I was like, yeah. He's like, do you vote for Reform? And I said, no, babe. I don't vote for Reform. That's why I'm handing you your letters back so you can give it to some other dickhead. Sometimes we don't mind sounding like a poncy twat and sometimes we do. And he knew what you meant. Basically, he is not liking you right now. There's something deeper going on that he's not addressing because it's got to the stage where you can't even bring him a croissant without it turning into some kind of attack. Either, like, he just hates you for whatever reason, maybe a detail that we don't know about, who knows, your whole relationship, or he has early onset dementia and he's lashing out. Seriously, like, is he on new medication? Is he not sleeping well? Is he sleep deprived? Do you have like a newborn baby or something and he's losing his mind? Is he not drinking his water? Something else is going on here. I think we need to take him to the doctors, get his levels checked, get his bloods done, and just let's figure this out. All right, guys. If you go take him to the doctors, his levels come out fine, his hormones all right, you get his bloods done, nothing's out of the ordinary, then I think let's get this man in some deep therapy, all right? CBT, exposure therapy. His exposure therapy would just get blasted with images with chocolate croissants. This is a chocolate croissant. This is a chocolate croissant. Pain au chocolat and chocolate croissant is exactly the same thing. You know, him just lying to this table, he's strapped down to this table, getting blasted with images of chocolate croissants. That could solve it. I need a drink, but I can't be bothered to go get one. This is our last dilemma, guys, all right? Strap in. My husband and I have 2 and 3-year-old daughters. Our 3-year-old is suspected to have autism and we're waiting on an evaluation, but we're all pretty sure she has it. Our 3-year-old also has pink eye. I don't know if that's relevant to the story. We'll find out. Last night at dinner, my husband promised the 3-year-old that she could stay up late since she's not going to preschool today. I asked, how late? And he said, 9. 9? Oh my God, that is like witching hour. For any parents of toddlers, you know, if your kid's up at 9, something is up. Bedtime is 7:30. I told him I wasn't going to deal with that mess, and if he wants to let her stay up that late, he can be the one to get her to sleep. I got the little one in bed and watched my husband play with her while I cleaned up. Tantrum started at 8, of course. And she was miserable when he got her into the bath at 8:45. It's only downhill from here. Do you know what I mean? When you have a tantrum that late, like, no one's having a nice time. She's not having a nice, she wants to be asleep. She was having a meltdown in the bath, then in bed. And he eventually gave her the pacifier and brought her to our bed at 9:45. She finally fell asleep at 10. And my husband told me he's upset with me for leaving him to do everything by himself, even when I knew they were having a hard time. I told him I wasn't the one that promised the autistic 3-year-old that she can break from the routine and go to sleep an hour and a half past her bedtime, but he still thinks I should have helped. What do you think? Oh my God, I wish I could be a fly on the wall in that bath time, right? When you know he's cursing himself. He's got his head in his hands. He's thinking, oh, what have I done? Why did I do this? She was right. You sat on the sofa with a cup of tea while you hear the screaming upstairs. I think it's brilliant. It's genius. You know, I think most mums probably would have intervened and feel like they would have stressed themselves out and they would have felt like they had to fix it. Oh my goodness, got involved. I think you actually stepping away and just, you know what, this is your mess, babe. It's taught him a lesson. He's not doing that ever again. It's brilliant. I'm a big fan of natural consequences when it comes to, punishing my child. If my child does something bad, instead of punishing them, just letting them know that actually when you do bad things, like, there's natural consequences. Okay, you break your toys, like, you're not getting punished for that. You just don't get to play with it again. Or you hit your friend, you know what? Like, your friend doesn't want to play with you anymore. And that is a natural consequence of your action rather than enforcing another punishment on them. And I think it works with adults as well. And it would have worked with your husband because he's not deviating from that routine again. If anything, he's going to appreciate that routine that you put in place even more. He's not missing that 7:30 bedtime. He's going to be on the clock every day from now. I do feel for the guy because we've all been there, right? We've all been there where we fucked up. We've made a decision and we fucked it. And now there's nowhere to go. The only way is through. We're going on a bear hunt. We're gonna catch a big one. What a beautiful day. We're not scared. Oh no, a big pile of my own shit that I created. Can't go over it, can't go under it. We've got to go through it. And that was him wading through his own shit. Oh, what have I done? What have I done? But then getting all up in his ego about it. He's embarrassed. And now he's taken out on you saying, it's your fault. You should have helped me. No, darling, you put yourself in that position, all right? Go on, eat your own shit, gobble it up. You know, it's hard to turn around to someone and be like, you were right. You were right. Who has actually turned around and said that, like, willingly without any issues? Especially if, and you probably are, because I would be too, acting a bit smug. If my husband was in that position, I'd be poking my head around the corner of that bathroom. There's me, my face around the door. I told you so. You did it yourself. I would be acting like a smug little bitch because you know what, you did tell him. My husband has this thing called fun husband tax. And he says this to me whenever, like, he's doing something fun and then someone gets hurt. He just says, sorry, babes, that's the fun husband tax. You know, that is the price you pay for being married to like a fun, playful guy that wants to be like the cool dad. Occasionally someone gets hurt and annoyingly, it was just your kid having an ultimate tantrum. Really, he was the one that paid the fun husband tax. If you had been the one to then eat shit, then you would have been paying it. But I think he paid his own tax there. And I think that is absolutely the right thing to do. So well done, Mum. You're an absolute genius. And I think we can all take something from you right now, okay? If the husband fucks up, just let him deal with it. Let him wipe up his own shit. And I think that's a beautiful place to leave this episode, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you so much for joining me here in my living room. I'm getting such good feedback from these episodes lately. Sometimes I lose the ability to speak. The amount of cuts I have to do, guys, because I fluff my words and I'm like, whoa, let me just say that again. So anyway, thanks for being here. Yeah, I'm getting really good feedback lately and I really appreciate every message that I get saying you enjoyed this episode or any shares, reposts, honestly mean the world. Like always, guys, Please rate this podcast if you have not already rated it, all right? And make sure you send it to someone that you think would enjoy it, all right? I love you very much. Go and have a beautiful day. Oh, and make sure you are sending your dilemmas at Miranda Effin Fox or at the Nappy Hour Pod. I will see you here again next week. I love ya. Goodbye. Mwah.